Victor Wembanyama has already broken the NBA. He's already a dominant defensive player and is rapidly growing into a dominant offensive player. He's progressing at a rate that's unprecedented for a rookie, and he's playing at a level right now that makes me wonder if there are even 15 players in the NBA better than him. Which, mind you, again, he's only a rookie and he's making me question those things. But we all know how good Wemby is right now. The question I have is, how good is he going to be if he's this good already? How much is he going to continue to break the game I love if he's already broken it this much as a rookie? Well, the results I came up with blew my mind. But quickly before we go any further, if you're new and like basketball, I'd really appreciate it if you would like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell notified whenever I release a video. I make videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the two best ways that can help me on the YouTube algorithm, help support the channel, and I'll be reaching my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. Anyways, let's talk about the basketball alien. Here is the list of players to average at least 20 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, 3 assists per game, and 3 blocks per game in a single season. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bob Lanier, Hakeem Olajuwon, David Robinson, and Victor Wembanyama. So, in his rookie season, Wemby is putting up numbers that only Hall of Fame players have, which includes 3 players who have won MVPs, 2 of which are top 5 to 10 players of all time. And mind you, he's the only one who's meeting these statistical thresholds while playing under 30 minutes per game. He's also on pace to be the first player in NBA history to average at least 20 points per game and 10 rebounds per game in under 30 minutes per game. Now, that could change if he sees a massive boost in his minutes over the rest of his rookie season, but regardless, those numbers are still ridiculous. I bring this up for 2 reasons. One, it's absurdly historic for a rookie to be putting up numbers like this, but second and most importantly, I want you to remember that he's already this historically great as a rookie, and this probably will be the worst his career will look like as an NBA player when I bring up what I believe his potential peak projection numbers are, because the numbers I will be throwing around are going to sound outlandish. Victor Wembanyama is already averaging 20.7 points per game, and 20 points per game is already a really impressive thing to do as a rookie, let alone doing it in under 30 minutes per game. When you look at his profile, you see the upside to be the best and most dominant scorer in the NBA. And I don't mean that in a hyperbolic sense. He has a combination of physical intangibles and skill that make the idea of him being the most unstoppable scorer in the NBA a real possibility. He's 7'4" with a handle and creation upside, but it's not like other tall players we see with handle flashes, because other guys in the past, it's more about those flashes that lack functionality in an NBA setting. And while Victor has a handle that can get better, I definitely think he could clean up a few things, it also is one that is legitimately functional and works at the NBA level, and it's a big reason why he's producing the way he has. He's able to create offense and produce at an NBA level on the ball, which is terrifying for the rest of the NBA. He's doing things that shouldn't be possible for someone that tall with the basketball in his hands, because he's such a fluid and flexible athlete combined with a legit good handle. On top of that, he's already one of the more dominant off-ball scoring bigs in the NBA. His feel as a cutter has grown throughout the year. He's nearly unstoppable as a lob threat. He runs the floor like a guard. And based off the way his jumper has improved throughout the year, I think he will be a complete scorer as early as his second NBA season. And as he continues to polish his game, he will become even more dominant, and the production will only get better as his minutes increase as well. I think at his peak, Victor Wembanyama will be one of the best scorers in the NBA, one that's winning scoring titles, and I would even go as far to say it's a real possibility he is the best scorer in the NBA. A player who can score at a high level on all 3 levels of the court, while also being dominant on and off the ball as a scorer. I project Wemby to average 30.6 points per game over the course of his prime, with a peak season at 35.4 points per game. Now, rebound is something that's also very interesting with Wemby. He's averaging 10.2 per game as a rookie, but oddly enough, I think he has a ton of room to grow in this area. He's not a bad rebounder, but his technique could use some work, and he also has room to add functional strength to his frame. Regardless, the fact that he's able to live off his height and movement skills as a rebounder right now and averages nearly 13 rebounds per game per 75 possessions is really impressive. And as he gets stronger on top of more NBA reps, he will get better as a rebounder as well. I think he will be among the most productive rebounders in the NBA on both sides of the glass for basically his entire NBA career, because of the physical tools. And I think it will be very valuable because he can grab and go off a rebound. He doesn't have to throw an outlet pass, and he will create extra possessions on offense as well as second chance points on the offensive glass. I project that he's going to not only average at least 10 rebounds per game for his entire career, but I think at his prime, I think he'll be 11.7 per game, with a peak at around 13.2 rebounds per game. If you thought it was already over for the NBA because of his scoring upside, well, I hate to break the news to you, but he also has a ton of playmaking upside as well. He's far from perfect in this area. He definitely needs to cut down on turnovers, polish up a few things, but the flashes of his vision and creativity feel fictional. Like this shouldn't be possible. And a 7-foot player that can read the floor, understands his scoring gravity, has creativity as a manipulator, and the handle to play on the ball is something that isn't even really possible in video games right now, yet it is something that is happening in real life with Wemby. I don't think he will ever be Nikola Jokic as a passer. I don't think anyone will be. If he was, it really is just pack it up, and we might need to make new rules against this guy to make it fair for everyone else in the NBA. But regardless, I do think Wemby will be a high-level playmaker for his position, and it will be part of what makes him unstoppable as an offensive player. Because if he consistently is drawing help defense, it will create advantages for those around him, and he's already kind of doing that. I think he has the tools to consistently capitalize on those advantages created. Of all the projections in this video, I believe this is the one that will be most based on how the team wants to use him. He's going to get his points, rebounds, blocks, and steals regardless. But while I don't think he's incapable of playing out of structure as a playmaker, his numbers will likely be determined by how much responsibility they want to put on him in this area. I think over the course of his prime, Wemby will average 4.8 assists per game, with a peak season at 6.4 assists per game. So here's the thing. Victor Wembanyama is already the best shot blocker in the NBA. There's no he has potential to be or he could be. He is that right now. He's averaging 3.4 blocks per game in under 30 minutes per game. He's the only player in the NBA averaging at least 3 blocks per game. He's well on pace to be the first rookie to ever lead the league in blocks. And two things really stand out when you watch him play. First is his versatility as a shot blocker. He's not just roaming around the paint, he's blocking shots on the perimeter and from help side as well. Second is that he's inevitable as a shot blocker. Teams are actively trying to avoid him at the rim. He's giving opposing offensive players what by logic and usual NBA standards is enough space for an open shot, but because he has an 8-foot wingspan, players are just afraid to even try and shoot when he's in the general vicinity. And even with players trying to avoid him, he's still leading the league in blocks per game in under 30 minutes per game as a rookie. He's already an elite defensive player due to how dominant of a shot blocker he is, combined with his ground coverage at his height and movement skills, and I project Wemby to average 3.8 blocks per game over the course of his prime, with a peak at an absurd 4.7 blocks per game. And it's not just the blocks with Wemby, it's also about the steals, because he covers so much ground, he can play passing lanes like it's nothing, he reads offenses very well, he has the physical tools to make plays that nobody else can. Just based off his shot blocking alone, Wemby is an elite defensive player, but add the ability to force turnovers, and it's very clear he's going to be the best defensive player in the world one day, and that day might be right now. I project Wemby to average 1.7 steals per game over the course of his prime, with a peak at 2.3 steals per game. So here's how I project Victor Wembanyama statistically. Over the course of his prime, I think he's going to put up 30.6 points per game, 11.7 rebounds per game, 4.8 assists per game, 3.8 blocks per game, and 1.7 steals per game. This is a stat line that has never been accomplished in NBA history, and as wild as it may look, what he's doing as a rookie already is unprecedented, so I don't think it's unreasonable to believe that his prime will be unprecedented as well. I think in terms of absolute peak numbers for him, he's going to put up 35.4 points per game, 13.2 rebounds per game, 6.4 assists per game, 4.7 blocks per game, and 2.3 steals per game. Now, I want to be very clear that I don't think that he'll put up all of these numbers in one season necessarily. It is possible knowing him. I do think that, as crazy as it sounds, this would be the greatest statistical season of all time. He could do this, but it's more of what I think what the career highs will look like during the course of his prime in terms of these numbers, and they can be spread out across many seasons. Regardless, I can't even say Victor Wembanyama is going to break the NBA, because like I said in the intro, he already broke it, and that's the terrifying part. What we are seeing right now isn't even close to what he will be in his prime. What we are seeing right now is a player that has already ascended to star status as a rookie in a way that you would expect a player to progress over the course of 2 or 3 seasons when they enter the NBA. What we are seeing right now is very likely the worst version of what he'll look like in the NBA. And if this is what he's doing while still trying to figure it out and just scratching the surface of his potential, it's over for the rest of the NBA. If the Spurs build a competent team around him and he continues to progress like we've seen other star players in the past, it's over. And the scariest part of all is, the Spurs have the assets to build something that's even more than just a competent team around him. But that's the end of this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, I'm notified whenever I release a video. I'm making videos about basketball all the time, and liking and subscribing are the 2 best ways to get on that in the YouTube algorithm, help support the channel, and I'll be reaching my goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Let's try and get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend others. Let me know what you think about Victor Wembanyama. How good do you think he's going to be? What do you think the best case scenario for his career is? Do you think he could be the greatest player we've ever seen? We'll do all that in the comment section down below. But with that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.